fertility and how important this is and how it's going to make a real change if we don't do something very soon. So, I think we all know how we make babies. Let's say this is the egg and this is the sperm. And normally the egg would be released from the ovary and it would come up into the fallopian tube, and we take our sperm, we all know how they come, and they'll swim up through the womb and they'll come down the fallopian tube, they'll meet the egg and they may fertilise, hopefully they'll fertilise, and then they'll travel back into the womb and then they'll be there to make a baby. But we have some real problems. Now, we've got lots of women here, so we should know. How many eggs does a woman produce every month? Yeah, how many viable eggs does she produce? A good egg, how much does she ovulate every month? One, so we know that. But okay, let's do the sperm. My kids got that wrong this one, I was very embarrassed. So sperm, how many sperm do guys produce in one ejaculate? Do we know how many? More than one. How many? Tens of thousands. Higher, higher, higher. Millions, higher, higher, more than millions. So let's start in at 10 million. Higher, higher than 10 million. Anyone know how many sperm in one ejaculate? Does anyone know? Anyone know? Guys, do you know how many sperm you produce? No, no. See, it's normally at least 30 million sperm. So we've got one egg and 30 million sperm. We've got massive gender inequality already. Look, just with that, getting together. But we have a bit of a problem because globally women are delaying having fertility. So some of you here, has anyone got kids? Anyone here got kids? How old were you when you had kids? 27. Anyone else got kids? No? So how old were you when how old were your parents when they had you? Does anyone know? 22? 40? Way! But we've got mostly around 20s. The trouble is with fertility globally in every country, women are having children much, much later. They're delaying having fertility. So why do you think that is? Why are women not having children as young? When I was a kid, most people were having kids in their 20s. They got married, had kids. So what are women doing now that they're not having kids? They're getting educated. More women go to university. They're exploring their careers. Anything else? Travelling, finances, and actually finding the right partner. It's really a lot of guys now, look, everyone's out here having a great time. People don't want to settle down as young as they did. So we have a real problem with people wanting to settle down and have kids. And does anyone know what the average age women have kids in the UK is? The average age? 30, absolutely right. But that's a problem. And I'm talking about Tick-tock and the biological clock because that's a real problem. Now, who knows some famous men who had kids very late? There's some really famous men. What about in their 50s? Anyone know famous men that had kids in their 50s? Does anyone name any? Charlie Chaplin was in his 70s. I was getting up to him, but that's all right. Yeah, he beat me to it. And apparently, the doctor from Star Trek had a kid when he was 80. But we've got lots around. I know. Look at that. But there's a lot of people, a lot of famous people in their 60s. So anyone watch the new Star Wars? George Lucas, 69. Who else have we got? People like Mick Jagger. I'm not sure how old Mick Jagger was. We've got lots of other famous men. So what about women? Do we know any women that had kids in their 70s? Any famous women have kids in their 70s? Any? What about 60s, 50s? 40s. There's a few that had kids in their 40s. But, as I said, we've got this problem with Tick-tock of the biological clock. I think I've got pockets. I'm going to put these in my pockets rather than they fly away. And the problem is this. The problem is the egg. So in these jars here, I've represented fertility at different ages. So if a couple have been trying to have a baby for a year, if the woman's 30, they've got a pretty good chance. This is the level. It's about 80% chance that after a year they'll have kids. About 80-85%. But that does mean about 15 or 20% will not have kids. But that's good. So having kids at 30, we said the average age was 30. That's good. That's fine. But things start going down. 35 is not too bad. There's actually less fluid in it. So it's still harder to get pregnant. It's about 65-70% chance of getting pregnant when you're 35. But 35 is like a golden age of badness with women. So when you get to 35, after that, things drop rapidly. The quantity and quality of a woman's eggs go down, and that's a real problem. When we get to 40, this is getting really bad now. 60% of women after 1 year of trying to get pregnant at 40 will not have a child. So it's only 40% that are successful. And can you see the fluid starting to change colour as well? Things are getting not so good. Those chromosomes, the quality of those eggs is going down. And 45, oh dear. Okay, don't try and get pregnant at 45. The chance of you getting pregnant at 45, I won't mention Meghan Markle, who's 36, but it's a few percent. It's about 5% naturally, and if you have fertility treatment, it's just a few percent. So, I wanted to talk about the quality, and I'm going to use socks. Anyone know about chromosomes? So these are my chromosomes. I'm going to hide that one for now. So we should all have 23 pairs of chromosomes. We have one set from our dad, so 23 chromosomes are in the sperm, and we have 23 from our mum, so that's in the egg. And when the egg and sperm join in an embryo, we should all have 23 pairs of chromosomes, okay? One set from mum, one set from dad. But things in the egg get really confused, and the quality of these chromosomes in the egg really starts to go down. So what happens is you get eggs with missing chromosomes. You've already got the dad's one, so that's not good. And you can get something else, which is an extra chromosome. Does anyone know what it's called when the embryo or the person has an extra copy of chromosome 21? Yes, look at that. Well done, well done. So that's down to that's normally caused because the chromosomes in the mother's egg were a bit abnormal. So these chromosomes being all confused in a woman's egg leads to several problems. They have a lower chance of getting pregnant as they get older. That's what I showed when the fluid was changing colour. They also lead to more miscarriages. So as women get older, they have more miscarriages because these chromosomes are all muddled up. And they've also, with age, got an increased chance of having a child with Down syndrome. So that's a real problem. So what should we do about it? Can we do anything? I'll just give you those things. Well, yes, there are several things we can do. So my research, I'm doing a lot of work at the moment of something we set up 2 years ago called the Fertility Education Initiative. And we want to let everyone in the UK and also embed this in the curriculum know about fertility decline. So I want them to know about how female fertility cannot be sustained, especially when you get to over 35, it gets really difficult to get pregnant. There are so many people that don't know about this, and the worry is that lots of people that wanted to have a family won't be able to have a family. And I think most of us do want to get there at some point. But we also need to have better provision for childcare. So countries like Scandinavian countries, they have brilliant childcare. We have terrible childcare, and the whole structure in the UK to have children makes it really hard to be a parent, so it puts people off. I work in the Institute for Women's Health at UCL, just not far from here, and we have something called the Athena Swan Award, and we make sure our environment's really good for anyone who has a child, whether they're single, married or whatever. But also, just past the edge, I want to talk to you about social egg freezing. Now, I know these are chicken eggs, okay, but let them represent a woman's eggs. Now, I said that a woman's eggs are going to go down in quality and quantity as she gets older. And 10 years ago, a new technique came in where we were able to freeze a woman's eggs. We weren't able to do it before then. So now we can freeze a woman's eggs really quite successfully, but we would need to do this ideally when this hasn't kicked in. So we've got to do it when they're under 35. But my research and the information from the government authority that rule all fertility treatment, we have found that over 70% of women in the UK that freeze their eggs are over 35. Over 70%. So that's not good because they will have less eggs. Getting 12, I bought 12 for a reason. 12 is a really good number to have if you want to try and have a backup to have children. But if you leave it till you're over 35, the quality of these eggs will be really poor. And to try and get 12 is going to be really hard. So what's going to happen is that you will have to go through a few cycles of treatment. How much do you think it costs for a woman to freeze her eggs? One round. Yeah. Ah, I wish! It's not free. It's not free. How much would it cost for a woman to freeze her eggs? Higher. It's about, what did you say?
5 grand.
Yeah, it's about 5,000, depends on the clinic, 5,000 for 1 round. So if you do this when you're 25, you probably only need 1 round. You've got a good number to get 12, and they're good quality. If you leave it till you're 35 plus, I know many people have done this in their 40s, you have to have several rounds because you produce less eggs. You've got to have several rounds to get 12. So some women pay 15 to 20,000 pounds to have this done, which is not good. And what makes it worse is that in the UK, the government, someone in Parliament, where is it? Where's Parliament? Someone in Parliament decided that if a man has a vasectomy and he wants to store his sperm, he can store it for guess how many years he can have it frozen. Have a guess how many years? Much higher than 50. 55! 55 years! So again, we're back to, if he stored it at 25, he can have kids when he's like Charlie Chaplin, okay? I don't know why you'd want to do that. And if a woman freezes her egg because she's having some medical treatment, like chemo or radiotherapy, it kills the eggs. It can kill the eggs. So if she's doing it for that reason, she can store her eggs for 55 years. Again, I don't think she'd want to have a baby when she's 60, 70, but theoretically, she could store them for that long. So guess how long the politicians have decided a woman can store her eggs if she freezes them for social reasons? Guess how long they've said?
10 years.
10 years! 10 years! Really? So I'm saying if a woman freezes her eggs, she's got to do it ideally in her 20s. So say she does it at 25, at the moment by law in the UK, she's got to use them by the time she's 35. Is that rubbish? Yes. Who decided that? I have no idea. Some politicians sat there and said, oh, I think they said we don't want these older mothers. It's okay for us guys, but not right for the mothers. So we are trying to change that law. I'm running a government petition to try to get Parliament to change the law so that we have the same rules for social egg freezing as we do for everything. But I do not think this is the answer. It's a lot of money. It's not a guarantee. It's only a backup. I think what we really need to do in the UK is have fertility education. Does anyone think we shouldn't teach fertility in school? Now, sex education now in UK schools is mandatory, only just this year, last year. But we want to add in just a little bit of information about what I've told you, and we want to try and get more companies to improve childcare facilities and paternity and maternity leave, and make sure everyone understands about infertility and Tick-tock of the biological clock. So that's round 1 of my talk. Has anyone got any questions? Anyone any questions? Any questions? Yeah.
So say you decided you wanted to do about £5,000 for, an under 30-year-old is a lot of money.
Yeah.
A scheme where people could potentially pay in installments or could borrow money or something like that would also be really
So, I think a lot of IVF units, I think they like to rope you in. So they have ways of having plans and things where you would pay a little bit by instalments. So yeah, they do that, but it's still a lot of money for most people. Yeah, it's a lot of money. Any other? But yeah.
How long are the eggs viable for after you freeze them?
Oh, we don't know. Probably forever. So we've kept embryos in the freezer for over 20 years, and they've been absolutely fine. So we think they would be. I don't think anyone would want to use them at 55. I don't know who decided 55 either. I think that was a stupid idea. But someone in an office sat there and said, let's do 55, let's do 10. So that's what they said. But yeah, I think most women would probably want to store them maybe about 15 years. They froze them when they were 25. I don't think women want to have kids. Most men don't want to have kids when they're in their 40s or 50s. Maybe just in their 40s, but not too late. Anyone here wants to have kids when they're 60 or 70? Men all won't know.
We can afford them.
No, I can't afford them. Any other questions? Oh, yeah.
I'm a bit skeptical towards egg freezing because I think that
women have less stamina after 40, so perhaps that's why nature doesn't allow women to have children after 40, because they have less stamina to like raise a child, breastfeed it. So I don't know, I don't think that we should be having children after 45.
So a few hundred years ago, women would have died before they went through the menopause. The average age people live was a lot younger. So it's now we are so much healthier, we're all living longer, so now that's why it's become a problem. But men do it. I mean, I wouldn't want to have a kid at 50.
Women are the ones that really, you know, like they breastfeed it, they have it in their belly.
Yeah.
I don't think it's the same. I think women have to be
Younger and fitter.
in a good natural situation.
No, I do totally agree. Totally agree. So, any other questions?
I have another question.
Yeah.
So, with fertility education, so suppose we all know that we then need to have children when we're 25.
Yeah.
Do you have any view on how society should be structured? Because then you'll just have children when you're 25 with whoever is the person.
Yeah.
that you're with then at that point in time, but then later there's many other things that happen. Like, how do we deal with that?
I think, for what I've seen with my friends, kids have people with the person they're with at the right time, and it's not ideal. So even when they get to 30 or 35, they still have kids who they're with at that time. I think 25 personally is too young. I think most people would probably want to have kids around 30, but with the average age of conception increasing, so it's 30 now. A couple of years ago it was 28. So my big worry, all of us working in the fertility field, our big worry is if in 2 years, 5 years, it's now 33, 34, if you start trying, so I started trying for my kids at 35. I didn't mean to. I was just with the wrong person at 30, the wrong person at 33, and then I met someone at 35. And I went through 5 years of treatment because I was right on that problem age. So if we have more people waiting till 35, it's going to be a real problem. But I think, is 25 too young to have kids? Yeah, I think most people feel that. So I think most people feel 25 is too young. But 50 years ago, that's what everyone did. They all had kids really young. So, right, some of you weren't here when I did the beginning before, so I'll do the sperm and the egg.